Welcome to the RGN Mines and Money podcast series with the RGN Editor Jack Kennedy. Here we are at day 2 of Mines and Money, and we're interviewing Dan Kazungu, the Minister for Mining for Kenya. Dan, tell us about why the Kenyan government has a presence at Mines and Money.
Thank you very much. First of all, we know that London Mines and Money is a great platform to interact, to network with the global investors around mining, from exploration to finance to project management. It's a place where you interact with people from different continents. I've seen Australians here, I've seen Russians here, I've seen Canadians here, and lots of investors from Europe. And I'm really encouraged, by the way, first of all, because I'm seeing a situation where, although we've had problems around global pricing for commodities having taken a tumble, I still see a vibe here, which tells me that there's hope, there's a future, there's a sense that at some point we're going to turn the corner, and so it's good for us to sit down and get to know each other, to collaborate, to network. Yesterday I spent a whole afternoon at the British Geological Survey, and they have lots of funding around research and training and collaboration in Africa. In fact, they're planning to put up a center for research in East and Southern Africa, and making Kenya the center. So it's a chance for us to collaborate, to engage, to get to know other partners, and for Kenya, which is it's a newcomer, if you like, in the mining game. It's a chance for us to learn best practice and tell people, tell investors that we are ready now. Kenya is ready for investors to come in and invest in Kenyan mining, which we've been preparing for the past few years to reorganize Kenyan mining, get the building blocks, and ready ourselves for mining takeoff in the country.
And one of the themes from yesterday at the conference was that Africa is going to be the sort of driver for the next boom in mining, or the next bull mining. What do you say to that? Do you agree with that?
I agree, and that's why I'm here. And not just Africa for me. I look at the Eastern Africa as a new frontier, because let's face it, Southern Africa has had a long run on mining for the past century, and probably so the same case in West Africa. Eastern Africa, in parts of Central, hasn't had that good push on mining yet. In Northern Africa, some parts of Sudan and probably Ethiopia, lots of history on mining there as well. But the Eastern Africa frontier, Eastern Central Africa, hasn't really been exploited fully in my view, and which is why we are hard at work to reorganize ourselves. Before you have investors coming in, you need to also prepare your home. Prepare yourself for investors coming, which is get the policy framework right, the legal framework right, the regulated framework right, building institutions, processes, getting credible data, fix your fiscal regime. So we've been doing all these things, and so that when we now go all out, and like in a place like this, to get investors to come into the country, we know when they come here, it's plug and play. Yeah. They just get in here and do what they need to do. So we've been hard at work, like I say, getting the basics right, and we believe where we are right now, we're just almost done. And it's time for us to start engaging more and more and ask investors to come. We don't want to say investors come in when we're not ready. We want to come in when most of the basics are taken care of. And the good success stories right now coming up in Kenya, from people like Acacia Group, and Base Resources, and so many other companies that are looking into Kenya. And like I say, if you look at Kenya, don't just look at Kenya in isolation. Look at it in terms of the regional, the Eastern Central Africa regional region, the whole basin, where you can actually be in Nairobi, Kenya, and using our financial logistics hub to do mining business across the whole region. And that's how we look at stuff, and that's what we're here.
So you're talking about the opportunity to attract investors and to attract foreign investments, and you've put the building blocks in place for the Kenyan mining industry.
Yes.
It seems like you could be on the verge of building up a very serious mining industry there. What do you think the future is based on these building blocks you put in?
The way we see it, first of all, in Kenya we have our vision for economic transformation, and we are already seeing the fruits on that, because in the Vision 2030 we want Kenya to be a middle income country by the year 2030. Guess what? We achieved that last year.
Okay.
We're already there. We're not a least developing nation
So what's
anymore.
the next target then?
So to consolidate that, and part of the consolidation is to ensure that mining becomes part and a key pillar in that economic transformation, and we can see it. I believe our job in the mining sector, as leading the mining sector, is to ensure that mining comes very strongly. Proceeds from mining or investment in mining it becomes more pronounced, and that mining contributes to double-digit GDP in the overall matrix of development. We want to see jobs created. We want to see revenues, big revenues come from the mining sector. We want to see wealth creation, not just for the national government, but national government, investors, communities, and county governments. So it's a win-win deal that we're trying to put together. And so when an investor comes in, they know that yes, there's a space for them, and there's a space for everybody. And that's how we want to put it together. So when this thing comes up, it's a space that everybody can play. And the way we are crafting our mining architecture or ecosystem is to have a space for artisanal miners, to have a space for small and medium scale miners, to have a space for the large scale miners, the acacia and then the base and the Anglo Gold and all these kind of people. We want to have a place for gemstones and precious mineral. We want to have a place for mining services. We've seen a lot of people talking about mining services here. We want to have a space for exploration companies, because the more exploration company we attract, the more we can see, we can get that funnel of many exploration companies, or maybe also at some point getting serious players, to take the opportunity to the next stage. But also, we want to, our position is to look at Kenya and see how Kenya can become the hub for mineral trading and validation in the whole entire East and Central Africa region. And that's kind of ambition we have for going forward.
So there you have it, a very positive outlook for the Kenyan mining industry. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Jack.